Good afternoon, American Government class. I apologize I did not get this video up sooner, but this is a review video for Quiz 2, which will happen tomorrow. And hopefully this will help you be able to narrow down some of the things that you need to know. Just want you to know that I have been praying for you this week, and I hope you do well in this quiz. These questions, not all of them necessarily be on the quiz, but this is a good smattering of things that you might want to know about. What was America's first Constitution? And hopefully in your mind, you were thinking about the Articles of Confederation. That was our first national Constitution. What is it when the central government is subordinate to state governments? That is, the state governments basically control the federal government. And of course, that idea is confederacy. And that was what the Articles of Confederation established, was a confederacy. Who is known as the father of the Constitution? Well, of course, that delegate was James Madison, and he is most responsible for the different concepts that are found in our Constitution. What was the compromise made by the constitutional delegates that basically said that the upper house would have an equal number of representatives in them, and the lower house, their representation would be based on population? And hopefully you thought about the Connecticut Compromise, or sometimes it's referred to as the Great Compromise. What group of essays were written by James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay, which really encouraged people to support a brand new Constitution? And that group of essays were known as the Federalist Essays. And hopefully you thought about that. What part of the Constitution is found right at the beginning of the Constitution and states the purpose of the Constitution? And that, of course, would be the preamble to the Constitution. And we talked quite a bit about that. What are powers given to the federal government granted by the Constitution? Of course, those would be delegated powers. What are powers that are reserved to states and people? Well, that one's pretty easy. Those are reserve powers. And what are powers that both federal and state governments operate under or have? And that would be concurrent powers. What is the division of power between governments? That is where the federal government and the state government share power and really almost fight over power. And the power is divided amongst those two. That idea is federalism, and that is what our American founders gave us, a federal government. What is the idea that political power is separated between three different branches of government? And that idea is found almost in the question. That is separation of powers. What branch of the government makes laws? And that, of course, would be the legislative branch. What branch of government executes laws? And of course, that would be the executive branch. And what branch of government interprets those laws? And that would be the judicial branch. Now, I will tell you on this quiz, you do need to know all 7 articles, as in what those 7 articles do. And so I told you about that before. And unfortunately, in this quiz, it is a short answer type situation. So you just have to write down the number of the article. Maybe it'll be matching in a different part. But if you think about it, the first 3 ought to be pretty easily. Article 1 is, of course, the legislative branch. That was the first branch of government that was in existence. Second article dealt with the presidency or the executive branch. And of course, a president was the very next thing that they established. And then the third article dealt with the judicial branch. After that, Article 4 dealt with the relationship between state and federal national governments. Article 5 gave us instructions for amending the Constitution. And Article 6, a very important article, made the Constitution the supreme law of the land. Article 7 told us how the states would ratify the Constitution. 7 articles, pretty simple quiz today. I think most everything that I covered is something you probably will see on this quiz. You might also consider glancing at this week's governmental things that have happened. There might be a few bonus points there if you kind of know about some events that have taken place just in the last week since we met. God bless. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.